Well, we've got the greenhouse in. I've popped down at 7 o'clock in the morning because you got to make the best use of time, and it's been really busy, which is why we haven't cleaned the greenhouse properly, and we've put it together with some panes that are cracked, but the greenhouse is up. And I took the liberty of taking our little thermometer from our polytunnel, which is a little Bluetooth one you can get on Amazon, just so I could see how it'd be over Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, to get an idea of the sort of temperatures. We had 37 degrees, which is super hot actually, but it hasn't been going below 5. This is good. So I brought these down to give them a bit of repot. But first we'll have a little look at kind of putting the greenhouse together. So let's see how we got on. It's absolutely glorious down here. Now the allotment bar is calling me way stronger than the urge to use spirit levels and stuff, but for the first time ever, a spirit level on the plant. It's a rarity because I don't really want to be doing things like that when I'm down here, but hey, the greenhouse has to be on a nice flat base, and all things considered, this is pretty flat now. So we put those pieces in that we took from the other plot, so we can see now where it's going to sit, which is great. Put together the little bench that goes inside, and now I think I might try and just get the 4 sides loosely together so we can kind of see how it's going to be. We've made some good gains, so we've got the base mostly level enough for now anyway, and we're just going through the process of putting the greenhouse back together. So we've got little sets of bolts down here, and we've got cross pieces to put in the top, but it's looking all right. So let's get these pieces in. I had really good intentions of setting up a camera and filming me putting all the glass back together and stuff, but I won't lie, it was bloody stressful, and I've realised that quite a bit of glass got broken in the move, which ain't great, but I'm going to pop down and see Howard on his plot because I think he's got some pieces. So roof is largely intact, got one little bit there, but I can live with that. Got a door which opens, and we've got a little space, which is great. So yeah, didn't get a chance really to, I was going to wash every single pane, in hot soapy water, clean all the frame, but time is against us because I need to get it working, and at the moment it's hard to find some time, so I thought better to get it up, and we can always give it a spruce up next winter, maybe move it, who knows. But for now, we've got the roof on, get the sides on, work out how many pieces we need to get, and get the glass cut. There we go. So there's 11 panels damaged, which isn't brilliant, but all the important ones, like the angled ones up here, are okay. So they're all just standard panels that are cracked. And Howard has been amazing and let me have these panes, which I'm going to need to get cut down, but they will do the job nicely, and then we can swap out these ones that I've taped together that are cracked. So all in all, a good job. One of the things that I want to do this year is working out the best time to plant things, and it's been quite an interesting experiment so far, and we're going to kind of scale it up now, because now that we've planted some tomatoes at different times, I'm going to leave some down here, and they're going to take some home to keep on my windowsill so that we can see the time that's kind of good to put them out into the greenhouse, whether it's going to get too cold and stunt them, because I think tomatoes quite like staying above 6-7 degrees, whether it'd be better for them to be on the windowsill or whether they'll go leggy. So we've got these 3 plants to show you. So this one was planted on the 10th of January when I was very eager and keen to get things going. Whereas this one was planted on the 23rd of January. So you can see there's quite a big difference between those two. And then, without wanting to drop them on the floor, this one was planted on the 3rd of February. So the 23rd of January is the best of the three. So we won't be planting them at the 10th of January. Next year I won't panic after Christmas and start thinking, oh my God, I got to plant these. 23rd of January looks like quite a good time to start putting them in. So we're going to repot those. So that's kind of interesting. And then we've got these aubergines are literally pretty much the same. So 10th of the 1st, I think it was, yeah, because I did them all at the same time, and 23rd. So I'm not going to leave any of these down in the greenhouse because I'm going to keep those as warm as I can because they're aubergines, and I'm determined this year to get an aubergine. And then finally we've got these peppers. So these were done on the 3rd of the 2nd, so they've had about 4 weeks. They got, 4 leaves, or 4 true leaves. So we'll get those potted up, and again, going to keep those at home until it's a bit warmer. So I think we'll maybe put half the tomatoes in the greenhouse or the polytunnel, take half of them home, and then fill my windowsills with this lot. Broad beans that Rex put in seem to have hardened off all right. They seem quite happy. Wouldn't normally stake them, but they did seem like they were blowing around the place and he needed something to do, so we've just put a little stake on each of them to keep them safe, but they seem pretty happy. Things are growing quite happily down here now. I might actually grab the camera and point it in here in a minute, but we've got some sweet peas on the go. We've got nasturtiums. Our cabbages that we planted way back are starting to pick up, which is good. Those ones are in here. Interestingly again, so in fact, let me grab the camera. So these cabbages here are in our hot box, which is evidently keeping things just that little bit nicer, because these ones are just on the side. Let's turn them around actually. Just a little bit leggy, but they'll be okay. Our leeks are doing all right. Again, interestingly, these ones are the early ones, 10th of the 1st. Give them a little water actually. And then these ones are the early ones. So there is a bit of difference. It looks like going for the leeks early makes a bit more sense. They're way closer to getting to a point that you might want to think about doing something with them, whereas these are still a little bit little. Chard and so on has picked up. Parsley never went away, which is pretty mad. Got a backup broad beans, and we've got a one lone piece of broccoli. Because I didn't plant everything out last year. So these are I think cauliflowers, and that was a broccoli, and I just didn't want to throw them away, so I put them in here over the winter, and they've kind of picked up. But anyway, let's have a look in here again. So We've got some peas, not as many as we'd hoped, but there's a few to get started. We've got some marigolds, and I planted those on the 25th of February, so they've had what, 3 or 4 weeks. They're just starting to pick up. We've got salad leaves, which is really, really good. Next week or something, I'm gonna either just leave them as they are, or maybe we'll plant them out so we can have them in the polytunnel. Nasturtiums, also planted on the 25th. Let me just double check. 25th of the 2nd. They are doing absolutely great. And then we've got some old-fashioned sweet peas, and those have got, what, 2 sets of leaves. I think once it's got a 3rd set, we'll pinch those out, but it'll be quite nice to have some sweet peas going, hopefully. Beetroot just starting to pick out. I was wondering if they were going to, these just have been in here rather than being on a heated bed, whereas with the other seeds I'm gonna give them a bit of heat to start them. You can tell spring is starting to spring because there's weeds and things starting to pop up, buds on the trees. It's all kind of starting to happen, which means it's all going to ramp up and get really busy. But the polytunnel's looking reasonably happy. 7 degrees near at the moment, and it's only, what time are we? 7:30 in the morning, because season of the day and all that. But things are looking all right. Got some spinach over there, which I didn't know Stu had planted, and these are all coming through without the aid of like a heat mat or anything, so we're obviously getting to a point where the natural temperature is enough that things are going to start germinating, so that means my windowsills are going to be a little less overwhelmed. So now we've got this space and the greenhouse, we can really get cracking.